Welcome to the podcast, everyone. It is, of course, your favorite host, Matt Lipari, with special guest. I'm kidding. There's no special guest. I made you guys all excited for no reason. I'm a big liar, but that's why you watch me, because I lie through my teeth. Nothing I say is ever true, except for everything I'm going to talk about today. Today's a bittersweet day, sadly. Well, the sweet part is that the Mets made it to the next round of the playoffs. Obviously, I'm wearing a Mets shirt. I'm also wearing the shirt I mentioned a few episodes before of the minion peeing out of his penis, or just a nub. I don't know if you can see that. It's just literally just a nub. He's peeing into a fountain. So this is the shirt I wore on the subway that people were looking at me. The shirt I wore to cheer up my grandma in the hospital. And the bitter part of today is that she passed away early this morning, I believe. And I don't want to make the mood somber in here. We'll just try. I'm going to talk about grandma because you can't mention grandma dying and then not mention anything about her. She was in the hospital for a while, and it was up and down. Not really sure what the prognosis was. She got better, she got worse. She was really not conscious. Like when I went there, she wasn't conscious. I don't think she's been really that conscious for like the last 2 weeks or so. And then I believe she had pneumonia at some point, and then I don't know. I don't really know exactly the cause of death. But yeah, I mean, obviously, not obvious. I could have. Perhaps I hated my grandma. No, I loved my grandma. Shed some tears earlier today. Sometimes you don't know if you're going to cry on something, but I did cry a little bit. Yeah, I mean, she's an Italian immigrant born in Sicily. Came to this country in probably the 50s, I want to say. It's my mom's mom. Both of my mom's parents have passed away. My dad's are still kicking. That's not fair. What the heck? How'd they get all the good luck? But came to this country in the 50s from Sicily. And I think I think I learned the other day that they had an arranged marriage of some sort. I think that's what my mom was telling me. Like it was just two people that wanted to go to America. My grandpa, my grandma, and they're like, all right, let's just go together and get married, which was how it was back then, which is kind of crazy. Which, I mean, it's like we think it's kind of crazy, but like it would be so simple. Like if I just married the first person that I ever liked, I feel like my life actually might be better than it is now. Like I miss her so much. I just want her back. That's a cry for help. But I know they came to this country and they didn't speak good English. They really never tried to learn English that well. And they didn't need to somehow. Like my mom was kind of always acted as an interpreter between my grandma and I. She spoke very little. Sometimes was able to communicate, but it was hard. So the relationship was always kind of an interpretive relationship. And no, but she was very nice. She's a typical Italian grandma, I would say. Go to your house, she's cooking stuff. We're making cookies. But the last few years, her quality of life wasn't the best. The house she lived in was kind of unchanged since the 50s. It's like a state-of-the-art house from, I think they actually moved to that house maybe in the 70s. It was after they came here originally. But just everything is like from the 70s. And I don't really know what she did all day, to be honest. She was wheelchair bound. She had an aide that went to the house every day, or multiple aides. I don't know what she did all day. I'm not going to lie, for the last 10 years, don't know what my grandma was doing all day. Hard for me to ask. I don't even think my mom knows what she's really doing all day. Just watching TV maybe, or she's a very religious woman. So hopefully, this is a very Catholic lady. Hopefully all those prayers worked out and she's in a better place right now. But yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. But we power through another day. I said I'm not very religious at all. But I made a quick sign of the cross earlier because you got to pay your respects sometime. But obviously there's going to be a funeral. And yeah, it's tough. So I'll probably go back home this weekend just to see everyone. I mean, I don't know when the funeral is going to be. Not that any of you are going to show up to it. There's actually an open invitation to come to my grandma's funeral. Everyone here is invited. It's going to be in Queens. It's actually a meet and greet. I'm going to commandeer my grandma's funeral to have a meet and greet. But yeah, I'm trying to keep this lighthearted. But she was 86, so she's, certainly getting past, I guess the life expectancy is what? Like, for women, it's higher, I think, than men. It's probably 79, I want to say, or 78. So she did well. She did well for herself. All my grandparents have exceeded the life expectancy. I'll take my good genes. I will accept the Italian genes. But yeah, that's tough. So, bittersweet, doing okay. We shall see. More fun things that I did this week. Enough sadness. No more sadness. I went on a date to Red Lobster this week. That's where I take the girls I really like to the biggest chain restaurants in America. I went to Red Lobster for the first time, and we just got drinks and biscuits. I didn't want actual lobster. The guy was very confused when we went there. I was like, he kept like giving us menus. He's like, you guys know what you want to order? He was getting like all excited, licking his lips. You guys know what you want to order? I'm like, can we just get biscuits? And he was like, oh, you have to order real food to get the biscuits. I was like, can I just pay for biscuits? He was like, well, you got to order the. He was like malfunctioning. I just want the biscuits. So I paid, I think, $10.99 for 6 biscuits, which is, I mean, whatever. It's probably cost him negative 10 cents to make. And then I got some mozzarella sticks. I don't know why am I giving the play-by-play exactly. But the biscuit, I'm just going to talk about the biscuits. I'm not going to talk about the date. The date was fine. I don't want to get in the habit of talking about my dates, but I'm just talking about Red Lobster. The date was fine. It was good. I would say not great, and I wasn't interested in pursuing it further. I don't think she was either. So no harm, no foul. Is that the saying? But the biscuits, they've been very hyped. That's the only reason I wanted to go there, to try the biscuits, and they were good, but they weren't like, I don't know how to describe. They were probably the greatest biscuits I've ever had. My date was making fun of me for saying that. I was like, yeah, they're the greatest biscuits I've ever had, but they're not that amazing. Like, I just don't think biscuits can be that good. Like, the best biscuit I've ever had is that going to make me scream? Is that going to make my body shiver? No. It's just going to be a good biscuit. So they were good biscuits. Fluffy light. I ate probably like 4 of them. I was shoving down biscuits. It was interesting, but she didn't seem like she was appalled by me shoving down biscuits. That's why we went there. It was a biscuit journey. So I'm hitting all the fast food places. Still haven't gone to the Olive Garden in Times Square, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous to go because if I haven't said this before, Olive Garden is my least favorite restaurant. I went there once in 8th grade. My dad said it was going to be awful, and I said, I don't believe you. I don't believe that Olive Garden's going to be bad. Everyone likes it. How could it be bad? We went there, and it was the worst restaurant I've ever been to in my life. Maybe we did it wrong. I was told you're just supposed to get breadsticks and salad. We didn't do that. We ordered real food, and it was honestly probably worse than the food they were giving my grandma in the hospital. Worse than the shake that had down a feeding tube into her mouth. That Olive Garden was worse than that, I think. So I know they've rebranded since then, and of course, every restaurant in Times Square, that's like their piece de resistance, the amazing version of their restaurant. Which the Red Lobster, I was gonna say Lobster Garden, the Lobster Garden wasn't that good. Like it didn't have good decor. They had fish tanks. It was like 2 floors. They had an elevator, which is cool, but like they had fish tanks that had like 1 fish in it. It was like a demon fish tank, just dark, gloomy fish tank. It's like an area in Finding Nemo where like the villain would live, and there's just like 1 fish chilling. He looks so lonely. Like really, I didn't see any lobster tank either. It's Red Lobster, so that was kind of lame. But I would assume Olive Garden's better. So I do need to go on a date to Olive Garden at some point. We will we'll see who so far those dates haven't gone well. Anytime I go on a date to a chain restaurant in Times Square, doesn't go well, or doesn't lead to anything. I guess it goes fine. It's not like bad things are happening. The waiter's like trying to murder me. The waiters have been interesting both times. I don't know. We'll see. I went on a date to Taco Bell, the Taco Bell Cantina as well. That didn't end up going anywhere either. It's almost like taking your dates to cheap chain restaurants is not an impressive move. Not a good idea. Curious. I'll have to look into that. I'll have my scientists get on that. Okay, so now we'll talk about the sweet part of today is, I'm making this on Thursday, October 10 or 11. I don't even know. I don't know the days anymore. Mets made it to the next round of the playoffs. The New York Mets are going to win the World Series. Take it from me right now. They are the greatest baseball team to ever walk the earth. If anyone tells you the New York Mets are not a good baseball team, punch them in the face. Slap them in the face. If you're watching this from Philadelphia, I'm so sorry your team lost. Do I think the Phillies are a better team? Yes. If you don't care about baseball, I'm going to keep this very, very non-technical. The Mets have mojo magic. They are God's chosen team. Jesus Christ himself is playing on the New York Mets. They are Grimace's chosen team. The entire corporation of McDonald's is behind the Mets franchise. They can't lose. They honestly cannot lose. They're playing really well. Like they're clutch hitting. It's very fun to watch. I was watching the game yesterday, and then I left. I went to an open mic to practice comedy because nothing more dedicated to me than leaving to watch the most important Mets game in the last 10 years to do open mic in front of two people. And while I left, the most important inning happened, and so I missed that. But I came back and I watched them win the game. So it was great. Hopefully they keep making it. They're going to win the World Series. I know it in my heart. But it's great. And playoff sports, I mean, I'll mostly tune in and check in what's happening when playoff sports are happening. Playoff baseball is my favorite. I mean, besides the Super Bowl, which honestly, the Super Bowl kind of gets boring to me sometimes. I can't really watch a full football game. I don't know. Unless it's really action packed. But I guess that's the same with baseball. Like, if it's a really boring game, then it sucks. But I feel like in baseball, the fun part, I'll just try to convert you guys all, is that you know when the action is going to happen. Like, when there's a big moment, you know something's going to happen. Like, everything sets up for that. Like, if the bases are loaded and a guy's coming up, something big is going to happen there. He's either going to strike out or he's going to hit something and then score a run. So you know when to watch. In some of the other sports, like, obviously a guy can hit a home run whenever, but you know, like, when there's a big moment, you know to pay attention, you know to watch. And I guess the same is in football, right? They're in like towards the end zone and stuff. Basketball's a little bit different. It's not really like, it's just back and forth, back and forth. And then hockey, forget about hockey. Who the heck watches hockey? I can't even see the puck on the screen. That's true. I can't watch hockey. I would have to wear my glasses all the time. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. So if you watch hockey, good for you. I don't think I'll ever get into hockey. So many girls on Hinge, when I'm like swiping, are like, I don't know, they just love hockey. Like, what is it about? Is it the men? I guess people have like fetishes for different sports players. I don't know anything about hockey, guys. Is that like a Canadian thing? Not a clue, but I'm not interested. Maybe because they're like rugged. They're like not real sports players. There's like brolic men that have like blades on their feet. Is that what women like? Women like if I had more knives attached to my body. Would that be interesting to you? Guys, do you like if I was more dangerous? Should I knock out some of my teeth? I can do that for you guys. Don't worry. Anything to take someone to Olive Garden, I'll do whatever it takes, really. Make myself look disgusting. I guess it's also bitter because there's a lot of hurricanes happening right now. Jesus Christ, so many hurricanes. Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Milton. Sounds like an old Jewish couple. Devastating Florida. I think Hurricane Milton, it definitely hit, but I don't think it was as bad as people were thinking it was going to be, which is, thank God. I kept seeing, like, this is the biggest hurricane to ever exist. And, of course, people are saying that the Democrats manufactured the hurricanes. Guys, I used to work in the government for about 3 years, and I did sign an NDA. I'm not supposed to talk about this, but they do have the ability to make weather. They do have the ability to make storms. And it's a whole grand conspiracy. It involves the obesity epidemic. Essentially, they bus in fat people around this time of year because you need the warm weather. You need this like shifting Gulf of Mexico warmness. They bus in fat people from some of the middle states, some of the, we'll call them Republican states, some of the Midwest, Missouri, Mississippi, etc. And they all bring them to one central location by the Gulf of Mexico. It's a secret site. And they make them fart collectively into the wind. And the mixture of the gas, the methane gas, and these people are huge, so their farts are big. It billows together and it forms. So it's a combined effort. It's been going on since the 70s. I think Reagan started it. So that is how the government manufactures storms. You heard it from here first. And it is used in election interference. People have discovered something very, very big. And yeah, that's but don't throw me under the bus or anything. If the CIA comes to my house and kills me, just know I told the truth. But yeah, people think the hurricane is being manufactured. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't actually think people believe that. I think there are a select group of people, especially on Twitter. Or X. Well, I can't call it X. I can't do that. It's been so long, but I can't do that. They just like manufacture lies, and they don't think they're true, but they know people will believe them. They know they can say whatever they want. It's like me when I say that I did something for about 3 years. It's true because I lived that life. I know people will believe me. I know however ridiculous what I'm saying is, they will believe me. So what can I do? I can say the most insane thing, and I'm not even someone people follow. Like, if you follow some of these people and you wholeheartedly believe everything they're saying, you're going to believe what they're saying, no matter what it is. And then even if you're wrong, you're going to try to justify it. It's like an inability to accept that you were wrong, and so many people have it, and it's really bad on both sides. It's really bad. Um, but yeah, if you have had to flee the state, I guess I have family in Tampa and various other Floridian cities. Some of which I don't remember. Um, Hope everything's okay. If you have to flee the state, I'm sure plenty of people have been dying. I know the middle of the country too, like Virginia and North Carolina and stuff, have been hit hard. So it's tough. As a New Yorker, I don't care. I don't really have to worry about hurricanes. Hurricane Sandy, like that hurt a lot of people badly, but barely affected my family. We lost power for maybe a day. So I am an earthquake victim and a magnitude whatever 6 earthquake victim, where the floor shakes for 2 seconds and I go, oh, I gotta get under a doorway, which apparently is not even what you're supposed to do anymore. Way to go, teachers, teaching me about that. But yeah, pray for a lot of bitter and certainly a lot of sweet. The Mets winning makes up for every bitter thing I've said so far. Well, I don't know. But we'll see. Hopefully they take it. It'll be for Grandma if they take it to the end. I think she was. My mom used to be a Mets fan when she was younger. She was born and raised in Queens, I believe, or Brooklyn. Maybe she was born in Brooklyn, I think. But Brooklyn, Queens, those are you got to be a Mets fan. If you're in the area, you got to be a Mets fan. Manhattan, Bronx, you can be a Yankees fan. Staten Island, no, literally nobody cares. You honestly, you could be a Phillies fan. We don't even care. I think they're more likely to be Mets fans, though. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to keep talking about it. We have a bunch of weeks. I guess by next episode, they will have. Will they have decided who won the next? They could. It could be possible. They don't even know who they're playing. So we'll see. Other news: Kanye West is getting divorced. That is. I think I cried more over that than I did my grandma. No, that is. Marriage doesn't exist for Kanye West. How is that even a real thing? Didn't even know this woman for like more than 10 days before they got married. It's insane how these marriages go. It's not real. I feel bad for this woman. I don't know what would possess you to marry Kanye West. I think he's a very interesting man, not necessarily in a good way, but certainly interesting. That's the least I could say. I don't know what could possess someone to marry him. Especially someone, I guess, I don't even know anything about this woman. Was she a model or something? Who knows? I'm sure she was doing well anyway. But some people, just like any famous guy asks you to marry them, they'll be like, yes. Some people care about fame way too much, which is something that scares me. But yeah, that's not surprising at all. And I thought, I don't know, it's lasted for probably a while longer than it should have. So they dress up like fucking Roblox characters. Everything they wear is just angles, just right angles in their clothing. What the fuck is this? Just come out wearing garbage bags every day, crisp, sharp garbage bags. That's their clothing, and it didn't work. Like I don't think anyone was looking at them like that's a good fashion sense. These people are trend setting. We're all like, what the fuck are you guys wearing? You've lost the plot. So Kanye's been a little tame recently. I don't know what he's been doing. I guess I don't really follow him that much. I don't think I've listened to a single Kanye album start to finish. I don't listen to music like that. I don't give a shit. So whatever this fucking Graduation, the album, listen to the important stuff. The whole thing start to finish couldn't be me. I don't listen to music for fun, like I've said before. I listen to it as background noise, but I do not sit down and listen. Like I could be listening to it right now instead of making this podcast. I'd rather talk to you guys about why I haven't listened to the album. That was a tough sentence to get out of my mouth. I feel like you guys know when I'm like struggling to speak, and that was like it was rocky words there. It's like the Mets playoff win percentage. If you ever see the charts, those are fun things to look at. If you go online and just see like the baseball win percentage chart, it's just like one team is like at 100% chance to win in like the 5th inning, and then it just goes like it's fun, little roller coasters. But yeah, hopefully Kanye's next wife, because we all know he's gonna get married again. How old is he? 40 something. He's gonna get married again to some poor woman who just I don't even know. They're gonna know. They're literally gonna know. He probably already has one lined up. Truly, he has a line out the door of women who would be his wife, and I'll pray for her. I'll pray for him too. That man needs. I guess some people like has like a philosophy like, do you want bad people to suffer or do you want them to get better? And I guess my opinion is always I want them to get better. Not that Kanye is really that bad of a person. He's just kind of crazy. But like in my mind, like I would like all really bad people to just become really good people. Some people would like them to suffer. So I would like him to become an amazing human being, have a beautiful wife. Maybe he can marry like Martha Stewart or something, and they can have a show together where they rap and make food. That would be great. I'm just thinking of Snoop Dogg. Why am I marrying off Snoop Dogg's shawty to Kanye West? She's also like 70, or she might be 80, honestly. Martha Stewart. There's been a lot of online chatter about raw milk that I've seen. People drinking raw milk. And I realized that I've had raw milk in some form. I had raw milk ice cream back in the day, a few months ago, I guess February or March. I made a video where I ate raw bull testicles, and nobody watched it. The most disgusting food I ate. I also made a video last week, or a few weeks ago, where I ate pigeon. Nobody watched it. The two arguably most disgusting items that I've eaten, nobody watches those videos. They bombed. I don't know what to do. So yeah, those videos didn't do well, but I found this guy online. I was just I emailed all of the raw testicle companies, and I was like, hey, do you want to sponsor a video? And most of them didn't respond, but one guy was like, no, I'm not going to sponsor a video, but I'll give you free testicles. And I was like, all right, dope, I guess. I'll just get free testicles. I may have talked about this before. So he sent me the free testicles, then he sent me 3 pints of raw milk ice cream. It was Amish raw milk ice cream. And it was the most disgusting ice cream I've ever had in my life. It was truly foul. It tasted like booty cheeks, but the Amish version of booty cheeks, so unwashed booty cheeks. Hairy, raw, unwashed booty cheeks. It was so hard, number one. They do not care about softness in the Amish community. I mean, obviously it was in my freezer, but some ice cream softer than others. It was so hard. And I think I tried... I don't remember. I think I tried the chocolate. Maybe I threw most of it out. I couldn't eat that. I don't like to waste food, but I'm sorry. When you send me booty cheeks ice cream, I'm not eating that shit. It was I don't even know how to... The chocolate didn't taste like chocolate. It was dirt mixed with milk. I think it made my stomach hurt afterwards. Raw milk is supposed to be good for you because it has, like, I don't know, good bacteria or whatever. It also has dangerous bacteria. Like, it can fuck you up. That's why we pasteurize milk. It's like sucking directly on a cow udder. Like, I don't want to do that. They got weird STDs or something. It was foul. It was worse than the testicles by far. Imagine ice cream being worse than testicles. That's how you know it's really bad. So yeah, I threw most of that out. So I've never had raw milk to drink it. I don't like drinking milk, but the ice cream, if that's bad, dude. And even I remember the strawberry flavor, like it looked natural. The strawberry flavor was like a brown strawberry. It was just like pink, but like the kind of pink that you make hot dogs out of, just like pink sludge. Ugh. So I feel bad. Wasted. But the guy sent it to me for free. He's like, here's some... He sent me 3 testicles as well. He sent me... Like, I had one for the video. I barely ate it. Like, I cut off a few pieces. And then I gave 2 of them away to a guy in the park. I posted on my story. I was like, does anyone want these raw testicles? And I met this guy who... I guess we're friends now. He's another food content creator. I really feel like I told this story already. And I just handed him the testicles. And he was like, nice. And he made a video where he cooked them up himself. It was a beautiful story. But the worst part of that was easily the raw milk ice cream. And, yeah, that was gross. All right, this is going to be a very cool story that I'm going to tell. Or not cool. It's really not that cool for me, but it's interesting. It's spurred on by another news, I guess. Aaron Rodgers, if you don't know, is a quarterback for the New York Jets. Very polarizing man. And the Jets just fired their head coach. And some are saying it's Aaron Rodgers' fault. Who knows? I don't know. I don't really care. The Jets are the Mets of the football world, but the Mets are clearly much better. The Mets are on a path to glory. The Jets are, who knows, a bunch of losers. But Aaron Rodgers is a big fan of ayahuasca. He's a big fan of the hallucinogenic drug ayahuasca. And I'm going to tell you my story about ayahuasca because I don't do many drugs. I don't really do any drugs, actually. But I've done ayahuasca, and it is kind of coincidental. We went on a trip. My friend, my brother, his friend, who's also my friend. 3 of us went on a trip to the Amazon rainforest almost a year ago. And that was a camping trip in the woods. It was very fun, but also one of the worst trips I've ever been on in my life. Truly just boys trying to survive in the woods with this Native American guide. And at some point he was like, yeah, if you guys want to do ayahuasca, we can do it while we're on the trip. So we said yes, went in the Amazon, do what the Amazonians do. do what Wonder Woman does. Is she an Amazonian? I don't even know. Is that like why do they call Amazonians like superhero? There's like a fictional race of Amazonians. It's just a cool word, Amazon. So we did it, and we did it in the woods. And I'll just say it didn't work on me. Worked on everyone else. It didn't work on me. So my experience, people always say it'll change your life. It'll make you either go crazy or it'll change your life. It'll open up your perspective. You'll be like a different person. There's also an option where it does nothing except all of the side effects kick in. And the side effects are you shitting your pants or shitting everywhere and throwing up like you've never thrown up before. So I got the worst part of it, and I got no benefit or no negative aspect of it, which is crazy. So it's a tea you drink. You drink this brown sludge tea, which is one of the most disgusting things I've ever drinking in my life. Drunken. It was worse than the Amish raw milk ice cream, for sure. I'm just describing all the disgusting things I've consumed in the last year. It was worse than that. It's a brown sludge, and you drink it, and then we laid in hammocks in the woods. It was the middle of the night. This guy was playing tribal smooth music from his phone, our guide, just looking into the stars, waiting for it to kick in. And it kicked in for my friend in about 40 minutes, I think it's supposed to kick in. I thought for a second it was kind of working. I was like trying to keep my eyes open, and then like I was seeing some like patterns that it felt more advanced than usual. But then I was like, the guy kept coming around. He's like, okay, we're going to give you more. So I drank in another full cup. So I had 2 cups. You're supposed to have 1. I drank another cup. I couldn't finish it because at that point I was like, this is actually gross. This is disgusting sludge. I couldn't finish it. So I drank 1 and like 3/4 cups. And then some of it was like spilling onto my shirt. Oh, it smells so bad. Sometimes I'll be walking through the street and I'll smell it for a second. Like something will remind me of the smell and I'll gag a little bit. So I drank that, and then I still laid there. And it never came on. It started working for my brother. He had like a half a cup more. And for me, it just never started working. So maybe we were laying in these hammocks from start to finish until we went to sleep, probably 5 or 6 hours. It was a long time. So maybe after like 2 or 3 hours, I was like, damn, I don't think this is gonna work. So I got up. I got this up to stand up because I was like, I'm laying in this hammock all day, and it felt like I was piss drunk. Like I couldn't even move my legs. I couldn't function, but my mind was like clear. I wasn't hallucinating. I just was like unable to function. So it was like doing something to me. So I remember leaning on a tree and just laughing. I was like, this is ridiculous. Because I could hear other people going through it. Like my brother and my friend were like going through, they were like making noises. Like it was kind of scary. They were like trapped in hell. Like, So I was just kind of laughing, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. And I just remember laughing a bunch of times to myself, which maybe that's just what ayahuasca does to me. So it turns me into the Joker. But I remember, and then I went to go back to lay in the hammock, and then I felt this urge. I haven't thrown up in like 10 years. Before, I never throw up. I felt this irresistible urge. I had to throw up. And they say when you throw up, it's over. The hallucinations stop. Obviously, I wasn't hallucinating, so I threw up just on the side of my hammock. I was just like, if my hammock broke, I would have fallen into a pile of throw up. It's the most dangerous, just like spiked rocks and then a pile of throw up underneath me. And I could not stop throwing up. I threw up everything I've ever consumed in my life. At the end of my throwing up, it was black. It was pure bile. It was I couldn't stop. I remember my brother at one point. I think he started throwing up then too. He heard me. I remember he was just like, "Stop throwing up. Stop. You can hold it back." I was like, "I cannot hold this back. This is a demon inside of me that is coming up." And I would be making noises. I was like it was just like absolute demon noises. And then I had to poop really badly. We're in the woods. So you'd have to go to a tree, and you have to this is not a good place to do it. I guess it's a good place to do it because it's like very scenic and you're connected with nature. But we're in the woods, and you just have to hang onto a tree and then poop in a pile, and then it's just disgusting. And we're in the forest too, so you can't go to the river really to wash your hands the middle of the night. You could, but it's kind of dangerous, right? There's caimans in the water, there's piranhas. So it might have been fine, but he's like, probably don't do that. So just a bunch of disgusting boys just pooping in the woods, throwing up, and then I got to go to sleep like that. So that was gross. But the worst part is just we're all hanging out in the hammocks after everyone's thrown up, after everyone's pooped, and my brother and my friend are just recapping what they felt, and there's tears coming out of their eyes. They're like, I was so connected. I felt the stars connected to everything. And I'm like, that's cool, guys. That's great. Glad you had a lot of fun. I'm really happy for you. Oh, me? I just shit everywhere. I just threw up everywhere. My body has been cleansed of all of the nutrients I've ever consumed. But oh yeah, keep talking. So, did it really change them? That was the question. Like, did it make them better people? My answer is no. I think they're the exact same people. It certainly worked on them, right? They were like, that was really intense. And I remember when it was done, our guide he went up to me, he's like, damn, he was kind of surprised it didn't work. He was like, we can try again tomorrow. And I was like, fuck no, bro. We ain't doing that shit. I think if I tried to drink that again, I would immediately throw up. I would gag. I couldn't get it down my throat. But he was sincere. He's like, yeah, we'll try again tomorrow. No thanks. Not doing that again. But I might do it again at some point. I also think the ayahuasca he had for us was a lot more thick than it should have been. It was really just sludge in this brown bottle. Ugh. Just sitting in the sun. I might throw up right now. Disgusting. So I might do it again at some point because I do want to see what it's like. But I think I would want to do it when I don't really think I needed to do it, right? You're supposed to do it, or they say if you're dealing with like a big problem in your life, you're like confused in your life. I guess I was somewhat going through like a quarter life crisis, which I guess I somewhat am still now, but it wasn't that intense. It wasn't like I needed it that much. So yeah, I would like to do it again just for the experience, but I don't know if I physically can. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I could stomach it, but we'll see. So that's my experience, which is not great. Like I'd rather have gone insane, like become a schizophrenic monster, just in like a padded cell right now. Just what happened to that guy that made funny videos online? Oh, he drank a tea in the woods and went insane. Or I'd rather be like some like super intrinsic man that can just reflect. I guess have I become like smarter after that? Honestly, probably not. I think I'm probably the same intelligence level and I don't know. Have I become funnier after that? I don't think so either. I think I've become less funny maybe. That ruined me. That if you guys are blaming me or my downfall on something, it was ayahuasca. It was the woods. But no, I think I'm the exact same person. Just now having a story where I shit everywhere in the woods. And I've been trying to tell that as a funny joke, like a stand-up joke. And it's tough. I don't know how to get it right. Because I don't think people really want to hear about pooping and throwing up everywhere. So I'm not sure the angle I want to hit it from. I've tried to tell it maybe 2 or 3 times, and every time no one really seems that interested. So I'll keep working on it. But that is my story. So Aaron Rodgers has probably done it multiple times, and it changed his life. Good for him, bro. Good for you. That sounds great. But from my experience, they did it. The people I know, for the night of, they seemed like changed people. They're like, man, I think my brother kept saying, he's like, I kept feeling like I have to protect you. I kept feeling like I have to protect you. And then the rest of the whole trip, all they did was just make fun of me. Or we just all made fun of each other. Like, it was like I had to remind her, like, Michael, aren't you supposed to be protecting me? Aren't you supposed to be doing that? And they're like, fuck off. So that's boys for you right there. After like 2 hours of the learning experience, 2 hours being connected to God, they're like, I'm bored of that. I'm good. I'll just go back to being a fucking asshole. So that's what it did. Maybe to someone more sincere, it would have worked better. But I would like to do it again. I think in the United States they have like clinics where you can go and everyone dresses in like white robes, and it's like one of these cults, and you do it together. I guess I would do it there, but it's probably thousands of dollars. We paid $50 here. I mean, the whole trip was probably less. Our whole trip to the Amazon into the woods for 9 days was probably less than you pay to go to an ayahuasca clinic in like California or something. And we did it in the woods. So I'd probably do it in the woods again over going to one of these clinics, but the clinics make it cool, right? You take a shower, you have clean clothes, you don't have to sleep in disgusting throw up. So yeah, that's not good. Good thing my grandma's not around to hear that story. No, it's she's actually always watching now, so can't say anything bad. Switching up to talk about my first iPod. I remember back in the day getting technology was so much more fun. Getting a new item, a new device. Nowadays, who cares? There's just nothing new is being created. But getting an iPad, I'm just fingering this microphone thing, which actually really ties into what I'm about to say. I just remember when I got my iPad, the only artist I would listen to was Jesse McCartney. which is such a 7-year-old girl thing to do, but I was a 7-year-old boy. So all I listened to was Jesse McCartney. I had his album, Beautiful Soul, I guess was the name of the album. I'm pretty sure. If you don't know the song, I'll sing it for you. Or will I? I don't know. Do I want to sing it? I guess I will. I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone to hold. I don't want my love to go to waste. I want you and your beautiful soul. Sorry, guys, my voice is a little hoarse. Just trying not to belt out into. I can't sing properly on camera. It doesn't work. Makes me embarrassed, even though there's no one here to watch. But I know you're going to listen anyway. That's the song, right? Teen heartthrob Jesse McCartney, who didn't really. I think he was a little too early to the teen heartthrob. Like, he was in the middle of like boy band versus solo artist phase. Like he was Justin Bieber before Justin Bieber existed. He paved the way for him. He's got some great songs, but that's all I would listen to, the whole album. And it's just like when people. So I get a lot of gay allegations. I get not a lot, but plenty of DMs from people that think I'm gay. Guys offering to suck my penis just for fun. Be like, hey man, hey man, I totally suck your dick. Like, thanks, bro. I understand them because as a 7-year-old boy only listening to Jesse McCartney on his iPod, there were signs. There were certainly indications, but I evaded the indications because I'm not a gay man. But there's certainly signs. So, any of you guys secretly thinking I am gay, I can't fault you that much. And even now, now you wouldn't know that I was a Jesse McCartney fan. I still listen to Jesse McCartney all the time. Some of his newer songs, which not even that new, but what do we got? Body Language is a great song. I don't speak Spanish, Japanese, or French. The way that body moving definitely makes sense. Great song. I'm purposely saying so bad. It's crazy. I can't do it. That's a great song. What else we have? I'm leaving, never to come back again. You found somebody to... I forgot the fucking lyrics. Why don't you tell him that I'm leaving? It's Over is a great song too. We've run out of words, we run out of time, run out of reasons, baby, why we together. We both know it's over, baby, bottom line. The special guest today is actually Jesse McCartney. Bring him out. This has turned into a Jesse McCartney concert. He's got some good hits, honestly. But yeah, that's all I was jamming to. And then I think I moved on to Maroon 5 at some point when I was like 7 or 8. Or whenever. When did I get my iPod? I don't even know. Probably like 7, 8, or 9. And then once the iPod Touch, once I got that, then the music choice was, we expanded past Jesse McCartney. But Jesse McCartney was him back in the day. Wish him all the best. He was actually I remember I was watching, what's that show? It was Fear the Walking Dead, back when people used to watch The Walking Dead. And I remember watching the spin-off show, and there was like he just appeared on the screen one day. And I was like, is that Jesse McCartney? Like, I couldn't tell. I was like, why is he in this show? It was very strange. And it was him. He was just an actor on Fear the Walking Dead, which is like very random. Yeah, I don't know anything about him these days. I don't really follow him. But hope you're doing well, my man. Hope you're doing well. You started the gay allegations for me, and I'm fine with it. I'll accept it. The reason some guy DM'd me to suck my dick was because of you, Jesse. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, so those are good times. The most fond memories I ever have with electronic devices were back in the day. That just sounds like a weird, like, romantic thing. The most I've ever been aroused by my electronic device was back in 2006 when Steve Jobs made the edges so trim. I think I still have my iPad at my parents' house. I wonder if it works, or my iPod. I wonder if it still works. I think it's in it was like an iPod Nano. It's a really small one. What a great device, man. Back then, you had to buy your songs too. Or maybe you can, like, if you bought the CD, you can, like, put it on the iPad. I forgot. I don't remember. But I was only listening to one CD, so did it really matter? Oh, I remember I also had... Oh, this might have even been pre-iPod. I had a DVD player that I remember I had it I have a memory of sitting in the car listening to Jesse McCartney on the DVD. So I just had a DVD player attached to my headphones with the whole album. Crazy times, man. Okay, I have another gay story. This is me and my friends in college. It was me and two of my friends. We went to a haunted amusement park around Halloween time. Just 3 dudes went together. We didn't have many female friends in college. Listen, I'm a nerdy guy. I went to a nerdy school. Not that I made that choice. My freshman year dorm was all boys. So it was kind of tough, right? I would have to have gone out of my way, and of course I had female friends, of course, or of course I had female friends throughout college, but they weren't really part of my core friend group as much. Um, so it was just three dudes. We went to the amusement park. It was a haunted house. We grabbed onto each other in the haunted house. We made out a little bit in the bathroom. No, we didn't. But it was a good time. And then we went on this one ride, and it's probably the most fun ride. It's not a roller coaster. I'm not really a fan of roller coasters. It's one ride where you all sit. It's just like goes in a circle. I don't describe it. You all sit in little carts, and then it goes in a circle. It spins you around in a circle. It's like a spider with legs, but like on each of the spider's legs is a cart. And you just like the centrifugal force of it, you spin around and just like everyone in the cart basically just smushes together. So three dudes in one cart and you just get smushed together. And so it's, it's kind of like a three dudes, one cart. It sounds like a video. Sounds like an interesting video. Yeah, you've seen three dudes, one cart. Whew. That dude with the mustache, the Italian looking dude, nasty boy. But we were getting in the ride and there was this little kid. I don't know where his parents were. He was maybe not little. He was like a 12-year-old little black kid. Doesn't matter to the story at all. He was just there and he was causing mayhem. He just went up to us. So clearly remember this in my mind. He looks at us and he goes, "Y'all three gay?" And we're like, "What?" We started laughing. Is y'all three gay? And we're like, "No, we're just friends." And that's all he would say. He was just like, "Yeah, y'all three gay." I'm like, "All right." Like I don't know what to say. So he sat in the car behind us. He wasn't with any. He just like was like a spare part that they have to throw in someone else's car. And I believe he sat with two other men. So it was him and two random dudes in the cart. So we go around and the ride's getting crazy. We're all getting smushed. And I just remember my friend turned around and just looked at them. And it's a 12-year-old kid. And he was like, "Y'all three gay?" And it was just funny. And I think I remember at some point, I might have made this up afterwards. I'm pretty sure he said this. He, instead of saying gay, he screamed on the ride while we were going around. He said, "Y'all three maggots," but instead of the M, he used the letter F, if you're familiar with that letter. So it was funny. I don't know. I mean, hopefully we dispelled the homophobia from this young boy. We turned it back on him. I didn't want to stoop to the level of saying "y'all three gay" back to a 12-year-old boy, but it was poetic. It was beautiful. It was we had a lot of fun. That was the best ride in the whole place. We might have gone on it again, honestly. Just getting crushed and like not even being able to breathe while you spin in a circle. Truly crap. That's a perfect ride. I really wish there was an amusement park around here I can go to on like a date or something. Just like, hey, like if I haven't kissed you or something by a certain time, just like, hey, you want to go on this ride and put my arm around this side, and then she just slides right into me. Poetic, truly poetic. I'd hand the carnival operator a crisp 5. Thanks, bro. You really saved me on this one. I just had like a fantasy in my mind. Just read out my like weird weird sexual novel fantasy. Yeah, so that was I don't like amusement parks, but that ride is fun. I feel like I don't know if I would enjoy a roller coaster now, definitely more than I was a kid, but I don't know, they don't excite me that much. I really haven't been on that many cuz I just don't think I'll enjoy it. But I don't know if it's that I'm scared. I guess I am somewhat scared. Like it certainly feels dangerous, but I also just don't like the feeling like dropping. I don't like the feeling of dropping down. It doesn't give me exhilaration. It's like makes me anxious. So I think that's the problem. But would I go on? I guess that's kind of a fear of mine. Like if I found the girl of my dreams and she was so amazing, and then one day I find out she's like a big amusement park fan, I'd be like, fuck. We were so close. I wouldn't, that's not a deal breaker for me, but I'd be like, fuck. God damn it. So I'd have to put up with it. Or I'd be the one that like, I feel like every family, there's like a contingent of half of them go on roller coasters, half of them don't. I'd be the one with like my daughter. I already envisioned my whole family. There's a lot of fantasizing going on here. My daughter just like eating like a chicken leg while my wife and my son are having a great time up there. That's how it would go. And they're like, "Dad, you're a fucking loser. You didn't go on the ride." I'm like, "Yeah, well, your sister was scared," but secretly I was the one scared the whole time. That's how it goes. Your sister needed someone to comfort her. We needed to go win some prizes. So yeah, that would be a punishment for me, like an Impractical Joker's punishment. Me going on a roller coaster. What else we got here? Job interviews. I don't have a job, in case you didn't know. At some point, I'm not going to talk about me having to get a job because I don't think I do need to get one for a while. I'm in a financially okay position. My financials are not to be discussed, but they're quite unique in the sense that I am able to live a life while having not a job. Well, not having a job, having not a job. But yeah, I used to have a job. I used to be a software engineer. I was one for almost 2 years, and I've been unemployed for almost 3 years at this point, which is crazy to me. Doesn't feel like it's been that long. But yeah, it's interesting because I was the one giving the first round interviews for my company. At a certain point, I was doing pretty much every single one of them. It was the software engineering role, right? It was always the same question, and it was always they had to code Connect 4, the game Connect 4. That's what they had to do. It sounds harder than it is. They didn't have to make it look like it. Just the logic behind Connect 4, like the inner workings of the game. They have to code that, and it was very like I did that when I joined the company. I did the same interview. It was very simple, but it's kind of somewhat challenging at some points. It requires a little bit of thinking, but it wasn't very like in the grand scheme of technical interviews, it wasn't very difficult. But it was a cool question. Like I like that kind of question. So I would do the interview, and I would have I don't maybe I've done 10 or 20 of them. I don't remember. But I just remember like I would make the decision on whether you went through or not the second the interview was over. Like you were either good or you weren't. There's no like people would send me emails like maybe a day after, be like, "Oh, I had such a great time interviewing with you, blah blah blah. Thank you." I didn't respond, and it didn't matter. I was like, "All right, like, what am I gonna say?" I already made the decision the second the interview was over. There's no chance if you weren't good that you just saying thank you. Like, appreciate you saying thank you. It's great, but I'm not gonna. Oh my god, they said thank you. They couldn't figure the problem out, but let's give them the job. Or let's put them on to the next round. So whenever I interviewed for companies, I would never send thank you notes, which maybe it disqualified me from some things. Truly never sent one. I think it's just a different workplace that requires that. Like maybe something more people oriented, like an HR person or something, would need that. But for technical stuff, it's like you're either good or you're not. You either can do this job or you can't. There's no like personal, like you have to be a nice person. I guess you can't be like a complete dickhead. I guess at a certain point you can, but when you're interviewing you really can't. But even that, just like okay, the thank you's not changing anything. Like truly, the second the interview was over, and sometimes it was like a maybe. Like sometimes I'm like, they weren't that great, but they weren't that bad. So let's see how they do the next time. And most of the time, I do believe that people. I don't actually remember. It was so long ago, but it was like very specific things I would look for. And it was always 30 minutes, the interviews. Like I would say 20 minutes for doing the coding part and then 10 minutes for questions, but it depends. Sometimes it would go over, but it would always cut it at 30 minutes. And most of the time it's just like, okay, like I know whether you're going to get the job or not get the job. There was plenty of more interviews after that, but I know whether you're going on or not. Like I don't want to waste my time or your time. Let's cut it at 30 minutes. But it's kind of rude sometimes. Like, 30 minutes up, see ya. And yeah. But that's how it goes. So yeah, it was kind of fun to do that. I didn't get paid extra for that, but it was enjoyable. I don't know, and it was a nice part of my job interviewing people. I didn't mind it at all. And a few of them, I mean, became people I worked with. A couple of them. So yeah, I mean, I am an interviewee or interviewer. I literally chose the exact opposite of what it is. So I know. So I have a different perspective when I go to an interview if I ever have to do it again, which I hope I won't have to. But also the technical interviews are very different. I feel like when you're a kid, you hear like these stereotypical interviews like, "Oh, what's your biggest weakness?" I don't think I've ever been asked that. It's just very different. It's like, can you code? And then after that, it's just like people talking. It's just people chilling. Like I remember the final round interview for the company that I ended up being with, which I won't name. It was more game like things. Like they just liked when we coded games and stuff, which was kind of cool. It wasn't hard. And then I just remember like I met like so many people in the company, and we just sat and we just chilled. Like I talked about baseball with one guy. Just like, "Hey, bro, what's up?" But they wouldn't like really ask me questions. It's more just like, "Am I nice? Am I a nice guy?" So I was like, "Yeah, I didn't get like nothing was hard after that." So I probably would be pretty bad at an interview where they actually asked me questions that I needed to answer. This is the first time, by the way, during this podcast that I have to pee. I just noticed that. I have to pee right now. I'm gonna hold it in, obviously, because I have more things to talk about. But I don't know how that's never happened before. That's interesting. So you guys now know that I have to pee. Everything I say from this point, we're gonna do a test. If I'm funnier after this point, then you know that me holding piss in makes me funnier. Just want you to know that. Okay, we're gonna talk about the worst advice that anyone's ever given me. This is the part of the podcast where I was like, I don't have enough topics. Let me just look up random topic generator. But I do have something that I know someone told me once. Worst advice I've ever been given. I remember I was at my friend's 18th birthday party in high school. My friend was turning 18, and he was having a party at I don't remember, some person's house. It was like his sister plus his combined party, I think. But just a bunch of his sister's older. She's like maybe 10 years older than us, or 15 years older. So it was a bunch of her older friends there, and then a bunch of kids celebrating the 18th birthday party. And I just remember this one dude. It was one random dude who was just like talking to the boys there, talking to 17-year-old, 16, 17, 8-year-old boys. And I remember he was just like such a man advice. He was like, guys, don't ever pass pussy up, guys. Don't, when you get an opportunity, you take that shit, guys. He was kind of drunk. And of course, some of the boys were like, "Oh, write that down. Take notes. Don't pass it up." But it's just such a creepy man thing to say. Such awful advice. So just come on, guys. If any young boys are watching, any 15-year-old boys are watching this, don't take that man's advice. You can pass things up, guys. If you don't, it's not a scarce resource. It's not like you're in the desert about to die. It's not water. Okay. It's just like this is a lot of guys' mentalities. Sorry, I had to clear my nose. If you want to gaze into the mind of a man, so many men think that we have to. You can't say no to having sex. You gotta accept it, guys. You don't have to do that. Some of you guys want to do that, certainly, but have some respect for yourself. Have some discernment. It's not that serious. It's really not. You don't have to put your whole life in the line just to have sex with somebody. So some people, their whole life is just about having sex. Like, truly, some guys, that's all they care about. And to each their own. I mean, it's a crazy thing. I often think about it like, there's some animals, right? Like, let's say a donkey. What do donkeys do? They eat, they sleep, and they're probably like, I would love to fuck right now. I don't know why I'm thinking of like the donkey from Shrek who doesn't speak like that at all. I would love to just be fucking right now. That's what donkeys eat, sleep, and fuck. So if you're a human being that does that, like, come on, you should be doing so much more with your life. There's so many more things we can do than eat, sleep, and have sex. But some guys, that's all they want to do. And some women too, really. But it's probably mostly guys. I don't know. It just seems like there's so much more to do. So that guy's advice was just so, like, bro-y and so, like, such a thing that he probably thought would hit with a 17-year-old crowd, which maybe it did with everyone else, but I just remember being like, even back then when I had no experience whatsoever, I was like, I don't know if I like that advice, bro. I don't think I enjoy that, what you're telling me. So yeah, that's the worst. And it's not even real advice. That's just a drunk guy just slurring like, "Hey guys, hey everybody." The worst actual advice I've gotten. I feel like a lot of people try to give you advice based on what they think went wrong in their life, but they don't actually know. They're just like giving you like a recap of when they made a mistake, but they don't really know what they could have done to fix it. They just think they know. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they could have been wrong again. So I feel like people do that often. But I can't think of any specific thing. I would love to give you guys advice. I think I am so wise beyond my years. That's why you all think I'm 40 years old when you look at me. Wait, you're not 37 with 3 kids? People messaging me like, I'm pretty sure I thought you were married the first time I saw you. I thought you were a 40-year-old married man. Someone thought they were giving me a compliment the other day. They're like, I swear I thought you were so much older. And I was like, how's that a compliment? They're like, oh, because you looked good for your age. I'm like, oh, I guess you spun it that way. I guess so. By the way, there's so many flies in my room. I think when I went to the Dominican Republic, I left my garbage on, like, I should have thrown out my garbage before I left, which is a mistake. But I think I left banana peels in there. And I don't know what it is, but banana peels come default with like 80 million fly eggs. Like, you leave banana peels in your garbage for a week, you come back, there's a fucking swarm. There is a hive. They're small, they're fruit flies. but they're fucking annoying. So I opened my garbage and I came back and there a million fruit flies came out. It's like a fucking Dracula opening credits. So they're all over the place. I built a trap to catch them. It's like a cup with a funnel that goes in, and they're swarming the cup, but there's still so many of them. It's so annoying. So hopefully they're gonna die soon. But I just keep seeing them fly. I like walk by and then they all fly away. They're like, he sees us. Yeah, no shit. There's a million of you, and it's hard to kill because they're so small. I need like a lizard to eat them. I need some sort of little creature. Maybe I'll just release a bunch of spiders into my apartment. Let them go and hunt. Feast, my children. But no, they'll be gone soon. But bananas they're so annoying. Bananas. I don't know what to do with the peels. I was gonna say the rind. That didn't make any sense. The peels. I don't know what to do with them, but I want to keep eating bananas. They have so much nutrients, you know. What is this? Okay, I think I've been talking for a while. I have. You guys are like, stop talking. I don't know if you can see on my forehead. There's a pimple right here on my forehead. I really want to. You can probably see it. You've seen it last episode. But I noticed that it always forms in the exact same spot on my head. This is the only spot I ever get a pimple. It's right here. If you recall in the early days of me making videos, the first few months I had a pimple on my forehead named Jerry. And if you ever see anyone talking about Jerry, they were here for a very long time. If you know who Jerry is, you've been here for a very long time. It was a very obnoxious pimple on my forehead. And sadly, when I make videos every day, which I do, you know, every blemish I have on my face comes to light. That's how it goes. If I got a hair transplant and I had hair follicles coming out, you'd see it. I can't hide anything from you guys. So you can like literally track my haircuts as they go through. It's crazy. My hair always looks weird on the podcast too. I don't know why. It's like a weird angle sometimes. Whatever. I'm getting a little too crazy. So I had a pimple on my forehead and it was in the exact same spot. This is Spawn of Jerry. I get it maybe like once a year. I think this one I got because of I was putting sunscreen on my face and then there's like oils and stuff. But it's always here. And if anyone's a dermatologist here, I went to dermatology school for about 3 years, but I didn't focus on this aspect of it. I wonder why. I don't know what's going on with this part of my forehead. It's kind of annoying. Like I don't get it that often. I don't have acne problems, which I'm thankful for. But just this is really annoying when it happens. I don't know why it keeps happening in the same spot. So it's interesting. Yeah, if you just make up something, I'll believe you. Maybe there's just like a weird pore that I have to like remove or something. I don't know how that works. I just slice this off my face. Take a scalpel and just cut out. I should scalp myself. Scalping is such a cool method of like killing or like taking someone's head or like counting someone as dead when they're dead. Keeping track of who you killed. It's such an outdated thing. No one's scalping someone in 2024. That's not a thing. Scalping has a totally different meaning. Just like selling tickets or making money on tickets. Is that what it is? Whatever. I don't know, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Let's fucking go Mets. That's the message here. The Mets are the greatest team. Hopefully next week, by the time the next episode airs, I will have seen the Mets make it to the World Series, and then I will be living in true bliss. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have an amazing week. Say I love you to all your loved ones. They could go at any minute, of course. Rest in peace, Nona. And yeah, have a good one, everyone.